Okay, welcome everyone. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. I am not home, as you can see, and I also only have one screen. So everything that you're gonna see in today's live stream is literally what I see in today's live stream, which means that if I switch to my browser, including the chat, which actually is currently behind my webcam, but as more chatting, wait, let me just change this quickly. Change the chat maybe a little bit like that, and actually move it up just a notch. Make sure it's well positioned so all of you can see yourself. And that's because I only have one screen. Usually I have the chat on my other screen while I'm doing a live stream, but today I don't. But I still want to follow the chat. Hence the reason I then put it on my screen, so it will be there all the time. Can you hear me? Okay, so I am actually using a Rode wireless microphone, and I didn't test the audio. The first time I used this mic was in the US. Volume is good. I was actually surprised when I tried this, here, let me show you. So I got this one, you see? So the Rode wireless, and I tried it for the first time in the US. And I gotta say, when I did my live stream in Washington, I was positively surprised by the quality of this mic compared to my usual setup. It almost sounds the same. It's a bit boxy, but it's fine. Okay, might be the room that I'm in as well. It's a relatively small room that I am in, and there's not a lot on the walls here except for the painting of. Let's see if you guys can guess. Come on. Come on, like obvious. Come on, some will know. Odin is not allowed to answer. Okay, let me remove my stream here. Tafelberg, that is correct. Table Mountain. Table Mountain. Yep. Okay, so let's get this started. Now, what we're going to do in today's live stream, by the way, I'll be online for maximum an hour. It's going to be between 30 minutes and an hour. Depends a little bit on the dinner time here as well. I'm with family of my wife. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through what happened. And through my Elliott Wave scenarios, which I have on the right, and then we get to chatting and Q&A, right? So yeah, let's get that done. By the way, everyone, welcome. Good to have you guys here. Joel, Jay, Arbuzni Sok, man. How are you doing? How are you doing? I see you're very active in Discord. Admin, Gail, Dogan. How are you doing, Yatin? How are you? I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing good. Traveling, are you in a submarine? No, I'm still on land. I prefer to be on land. Hidden Bull, welcome. Cheers, Tyrewood. I'll do my best for you. Bulland, what's up? Thank you, Perkyo. Odin, how you doing, man? How you doing? By the way, Odin, I sent you a message on Discord. I don't know if you replied already, but let me know. Indy, welcome. Hunter, what's up? Harry, Garley to 86, 97K. That would pretty much be a zigzag to the downside if you want to get that low, or a flat with then a wave C that extends to the downside. But I'll be talking about it. Yeah. I don't really like this as a 5-wave zigzag to the downside. Not gonna lie though. Not gonna lie. Harry Heck, what's up? Maybe a Band-Aid. How you doing? Mario, Kevin, Tano, Zender. Okay, let's start. Let's start. So, pretty much the thumbnail of the video 2 days ago and the live stream now, because I couldn't make another thumbnail before starting the live stream, so I just used the one from 2 days ago, which pretty much played out, right? The line towards the upside, right? We were looking for price to move up as the highest probability Elliott Wave scenario. Okay, so yeah, price moved towards the upside, and we currently had a bit of resistance at 2 point of controls, which I already removed from my chart. We actually moved through the box that I had here for a brief moment, and then there were 2 point of controls I had here on my chart, which were from the PVP indicator. I'm not sure if it was the week one. Let me have a look here. Okay, so here was one point of control, but I think it was more maybe a daily one, monthly, daily. Let me have a look. So the PVP indicator is one that I use, especially if I am not at home and I don't have access to my Windows system where I use ATOS. I do like to use PVP for the levels. Okay, so here's another one. I don't know, I thought I had something there as well. Daily point of controls are a little bit higher, but I had some resistance on the chart this morning already removed, and this box is white. We traded through it. So far this move towards the upside is a three-wave looking structure. Now let's get through the Elliott Wave scenarios, right? Just to get this one out of the way, I do realize I sometimes see counts where people count this as a five-wave impulse, meaning, a diagonal structure, not an impulse. So five-wave motive wave, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. However, if we talk about a diagonal, just to get a zigzag out of the way, right? So the question basically is like, what's the chance of having a move down as a wave A, get a three-wave in a B, and then a C to the downside as a zigzag, right? Well, that means this has to be a five-wave motive wave. The issue I have, though, is that this is not a contracting structure. It's an expanding structure. And that is why I don't even really look at it. So for an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, as per the previous video, you have overlap here, which invalidates an impulse. And if you talk about diagonals, then it has to be a contracting structure. Sure, 3 is, I believe, longer than 1, but that's not an invalidation as per the modern rules. But still, it's expanding trend lines, which is not what you like to see. So I'm really looking at this structure, as mentioned in the previous content, as a corrective zigzag family structure, right? So let's then look at the scenarios. Starting with the two that are higher probability, and I will explain a bit more about what level is very important, but you'll see that in the next scenario, right? So here is the a flat, right? Now, before I talk about this scenario specifically, let me shortly zoom out to the 8-hour time frame. Let me go to the 8-hour. Because it's important. So on the 8-hour, right, if we have a finished five-wave impulse to the upside and we correct the impulse, right, you definitely, and by far most commonly, want a correction to end after this line, the vertical line on my chart, this one here, right? Sure, we traded through it now, but this is currently the low of the correction, right? The end, arguably. If we would impulse towards the upside and continue, then this is going to be the scenario, no? Where this is then the end of your wave 4 and you look for your 5, right? At the moment, it still doesn't have the highest probabilities till you actually create an impulse to the upside. But for a corrective structure, if you correct this move up, preferably you wouldn't really be finished. It would be quite short in time. It would be nicer if you actually get a bigger corrective structure, right? Doesn't mean you need to take the low again, by the way. It's just a larger corrective structure before you then continue towards the upside, if we talk about specifically this five-wave move towards the upside. Now that then brings us to the flat. Okay, so that is also where the flat comes from. I think I explained this in maybe 2 videos ago, maybe the last video. I'm actually not too sure. Which PVP indicator is it? I don't actually know. It's just called PVP. So if I go to my favorites here, periodic volume profile, PVP. That's the one. Oops, I turned it on. So with regards to a flat, what it does is that instead of this being the end of a corrective structure, you basically extend the correction in time. It's a more sideways movement. Wave C doesn't need to take the low of wave A, right? Can be a running flat as well in a strong trend. But here we then have a finished move to the downside. Let me clean that up a little. That's your A. Then you look for a three-wave B towards the upside and then a C down. Now preferably, your wave B finishes after this vertical line, a lot of vertical lines. So we have a fib time, the 382, which is taken from the start to the end of wave A. And it is sitting on the 11th of June, 6 a.m. Central European time, which is tomorrow, right? So preferably we would finish after this vertical line. Now we moved quite high to the upside, and a minimum target for a flat is the 0.9, which we haven't reached, right? So preferably you get a moment in time where you actually move towards the downside to support, then get another zigzag up, right? So you have a 3, 3, and then get another 3. A, B, C towards the upside, take the all-time high, grab liquidity, and then drag it down in a wave C, which would mean that your wave B would end after the 302 as well, which would be quite nice. So that is something I at least keep an eye on. Now, I don't really like this move to the upside to take out the all-time high already. If we're talking about a flat and preferably then a bigger three-wave structure, right? It is definitely preferred that your first move does not take out the all-time high, because the moment you take out the all-time high, you got to be thinking about ending a flat, right? And not really still coming down. Like if you would do this, for example, right? Take out the high and then come down. It makes a lot less sense. It's definitely not something you tend to see, right? It's a lot more common for the first structure to not take the all-time high and then the second one to actually push through. So you basically leave a double top, right? So people that are interested in potentially trading the breakout, they try to buy here. We're so close. Instead, you drag it down, right? So these ones over here are in losses or get liquidated, whatnot, stop losses triggered. Then you push through, right? Again, people buying plus the liquidity, and that then eventually moves down. So you start with a double top and then you grab the liquidity of the double top. So that is definitely something that I find very interesting. By all means, looking to take out the all-time high sooner or later. As the probabilities are higher, this is a corrective structure, not a motive wave structure. So in other words, unrelated. Like if I'm very simplistic, we're looking for price to take out the all-time high at some point, right? I don't care what happens inside this range. We're looking for price to take out the high as the probabilities are a lot higher. This is a corrective structure, not an impulsive move. So everything that I talk about now in the stream with regards to specific scenarios, that's all like a bonus. Because in the end, the probabilities are higher to take out this high at some stage, right? And we're just, of course, covering some options in which it takes the all-time high, starting then with the flat, okay? Now, second is just continuation. That's your more bullish scenario, okay? So here you have, again, a three-wave move to the downside in your WXY, which is a finished corrective structure. And after that, you start with the multi-1-2. And eventually you're waiting for 4 5s. So here 1 2 1 2 1 2, right? Get your 3 and then 4 5 4 5 4 5. So you're looking for more 4 5s. Now mind you that these impulses up can still be quite long, right? Because in the end, this move up is a wave 5 of still a 3. A reminder, wave 3s tend to extend, right? Of course, it's common for the 3 of 3 of 3 to be a big wave, but mind you that sometimes it's the 5, right? So these 5s can still go pretty far, and basically if you would get the 4 5s and grind towards the upside, take out the all-time high, that is the moment we definitely have to consider at least thinking about a bigger impulse up. 1 2 3 4 5. Look for my aware zone. Where is my aware? There we go. Around 120. Resistance, and maybe that's the end of your wave 5, and you get a bigger retracement. Alternatively, and this is the count you probably see online here and there, is that people count a wave 1 here, and this is the 2, and then they look for a wave 3 or maybe another 1 2, and they just keep stacking 1 2s. So we'll see what price does if it eventually gets there, but at least we know, like, probability is higher to at some point move up and take out the all-time high. And if you don't retrace solidly to the downside, preferably you invalidate a wave 4 by touching the 618. I should say it differently, I guess, but we use it as pretty much an invalidation, as it is so rare for wave 4s to touch the 618. So it significantly lowers probability, so to speak. But it sits at 107.4K, right? So that is a level you don't want to see hit in this particular scenario, right? You're looking for continuation and the impulse to move on, right? Now, just a side note, I have it in my mind, but I didn't make a folder of it. But if price moves up here and volume is going to increase, right, significantly, be aware of the potential of a wave 1, 2, 1, 2 continue, right? So that is your double 1, 2, where the first one is that going to be a diagonal. Then you have your second one, 2, and then you look for a 3. Most commonly, wave 3s have the highest amount of volume. So you at least want to beat the volume you had in this push towards the upside, and of course, extend as well, right? So that is definitely something to be aware of if you do move to the upside. I just didn't feel the need at the moment to put it in my folders. So I haven't. And at the moment, I just have this as a multi-1-2. And the reason is multi-1-2s are more common than diagonals. So that is why I start with a multi-1-2, may divert to a diagonal if we continue towards the upside on a significant amount of volume and gonna extend. No? Oh, Rodney, sorry, I'm traveling, Rodney. I'll make sure to check it after the stream. I just see the tag here. So I haven't actually been looking at the file. My excuses. Now your target area for wave 4 is the white box here, right? Currently we're still in the target area. So far locally, of course, we have a 3-wave structure at the moment, not a 5-wave here, but I'll zoom in a second, okay? So those are the two scenarios that I am looking for at the moment, where either we look at a flat here, which of course takes out the all-time high, or continuation in an impulse. Now, preferably for the flat, your wave X moves down and actually takes out the 618 in validation for 4 at 107.4K. The flat structure is still bullish, yes. And can you take out 90K? That would be far though, would be far. I don't expect price at all to move below this range, to be honest. Even in a flat ABC, in a strong trend, a flat has a higher chance of being a running flat as well, right? Just because of the strength, basically. So you get a higher high. So that is something to pay attention to. By all means, wave C just has to be a 5-wave structure. And wherever the 5 waves end, that's going to be your low. I don't expect it at all to move to 90 at the moment. That would be very deep. Yeah, it would be very deep. So, yeah, the flat here, right? Deeper retracement in an X would be preferred. For continuation, either an impulse where we are looking for multiple 4-5s here, right? Or more bullish, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I just explained what to then look for, okay? That just is continuation. In both cases, preferably take out the high. These are the two preferred scenarios that I keep an eye on at the moment. Yeah, in general, probability is higher to take the all-time high. Now then some sideways stuff, which is definitely not preferred. I actually don't know why I really have it in my folders anymore. Let me just cover it. So I mean, W, X, Y, wave X is a flat ABC, B retraced to the 1.618, very low probabilities. Yeah, let's not cover this. And what's this? No, okay, no, never mind. Those are, I don't know. I don't even know why I still have them in my folders. I just want to focus on the two scenarios that I covered in a bit more depth. Those are the two I keep an eye on. The rest is not really relevant at the moment. Now, if we then go to the 15-minute time frame, I will get, by the way, to chat after the analysis. I'll get into chat and Q&A. So at the moment, we can clearly see we got a 3-wave move to the downside, not a 5-wave structure. Now, something I like to double check is to see if there's at least a chance of an expanding flat. Now, you can see over here that price touched the 1.618, and that's important. And that's actually what I like to see, because if price would move up now, probabilities are incredibly low. This would be a flat ABC, and you look for another move down. Instead, if price would move up here, probabilities are much higher. This is a 3-wave structure in an ABC or a WXY, or at least a zigzag family structure, because the 1.618 is touched. So something that I like to now keep an eye on, of course, bearish scenario would be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 to the downside, okay? That would be an impulse, basically. Right, you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Mind you, I did not bother counting this in detail. Okay, Low time frame stuff, I wasn't really interested in trying to count this. I do know there were bearish CVD divergences earlier. They have now played out. There we go. So we had bearish CVDs with the high and price dropped to the downside. Perfectly fine. For the ones that don't know, I made its most popular video on my channel, a big CVD video like a year ago, so check it out. But basically this is absorption of market longs with limit short orders. Big limit shorts are pushing price to the downside, absorbing the longs, dragging it down. Taking out this low over here is when the CVD divergence plays out. So that one then played out. Okay. So if price can move towards the upside here and touch the 886, then the probabilities for a 1-2, 1-2, and then a 3 down are very low, right? So it's more, I talk about this regularly because I think if you're maybe relatively new in analysis, it's probably Elliott wave analysis. It's probably easiest to try and count a motive wave here. Because if you can't with high probabilities, you're probably looking at a corrective, or you are looking at a corrective structure, most likely, and therefore you look for price to take out the start of the correction, which is this high. Now there are 3 motive waves, I mean officially 2, but I always like to add a third one. So you have the impulse to the downside, you have the diagonal, right? And in my opinion, I always like to add a 1-2 or a multi 1-2, sorry. So 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then drag it down, right? And generally you have overlap here as well. So if we cover these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, not possible. We have overlap as well. So an impulse at the moment is not yet relevant. Can we get a diagonal in here? Well, it's a bit too early, right? For diagonals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't really like counting a diagonal here. Still need a 4. Still need to take the low at least once more as well. Or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's too early to talk about such a diagonal. So it's not really great. And then we have the multi 1-2. And this is the one you always gotta keep in mind because that's the most impulsive one, honestly. And therefore, in a multi 1-2, right, there's always 2 things I want to see. First of all, the second potential one. Always check this. Always check, did we touch this move here, the 1.618? I just explained it why, right? Because if you touch the 1.618 taken from this low to the high, this move down is unlikely to be a wave B of a flat in an ABC. So if you do move up, probabilities are low, it's part of a bigger correction and you come back down afterwards in an impulse, right? Okay, so that is one. Second, in a multi 1-2, you don't want price to touch the 886, which is taken from the high to the low of your second wave 1, right? If price moves up and touches the 886, probabilities are incredibly low that you are looking at an impulsive structure, a multi 1-2 structure, at least to the downside, right? So the probabilities for a 1-2, 1-2, 3 go significantly down if you touch that 886, currently at 109.8K. And if I drag it, yeah, around 109.8K, okay? So in other words, if price can move up here, probabilities are higher. This is corrective, okay, which automatically inclines or means probabilities are higher to take out the high. Doesn't need to happen in a straight line, right? Because I'm not talking about specific scenarios. If you do want to know what scenarios are still possible, a move to the downside, if it moves back up to the 886, right, I prefer counting this as a zigzag, no, in an ABC. Maybe it's a WXY, but who cares counting this low time frame stuff? So therefore, one has to be aware of a W, X, and a Y, which means you can move up to the 886 or even take the previous high here and then drag it down in another zigzag to the downside, right? But a WXY is still a corrective structure. And that's the means, because after a wave Y, you look for price to turn around and take the high. So it's about the directional bias, right? The moment you move up right now, before at least taking out the low, if you touch the 886 and take out this high, probabilities are higher to take out this high. Unrelated to if you come back down again for a bigger corrective structure, you're looking for price to turn around anyway and take the high out anyway, right? So this is also how I consider local setups for myself from a trading point of view, right? I want to wait for price to show me clarity, give me a directional bias, and then trade according to my directional bias. Actually, talking about trades, I went long. So I was talking about the most important level on the chart right now, which was the 618. I think in my previous video when price was somewhere here, I believe. And I actually entered on top of the 618. No joke, that was my entry. Because that immediately increased probabilities. This was a 3 wave, not a 5, which means I was looking for price to move up. So therefore the 618 was my entry and my exit was this box because that's where I had my significant area of resistance and I just had a set TP. I'm also traveling, so I can't always keep an easy eye on the chart. So yeah, I just had my TP touch, perfect, right? That's what we like. Trade the plan or have a plan, trade the plan, and then look for a new potential setup. Now, of course, locally, I'm definitely interested. I said to Silver earlier today, I'm honestly only interested in longs. I don't really care about how the range evolves. If we do move down in an X, for example, in the WXY for a flat, I'm not interested in trading the X down, to be honest. I'm more interested in trading after X another leg to the upside towards the all-time highs. So that is my approach in this range. I'm a lot more interested in buys compared to sells. Or buying compared to selling. And locally on a 15-minute time frame, I keep an eye on that 886. That's a directional bias. And then after touching, see what happens on the chart, right? See what if we create a bigger corrective structure, what's the volume, etc. So that is what I look for locally. Yeah, I covered the 4-hour, covered the 50-minute time frame. This is what I keep an eye on, and that's pretty much it, I suppose. So let's zoom out to the 4-hour and get to the chat. Do a little bit of a chatting and a Q&A. Mark, welcome, man. Good to have you here, Mark from the Netherlands. Let me scroll up quickly here, see if anything, any questions that were left behind. Painting of the sea. Yeah, the painting behind me is Table Mountain, South Africa. What's up, Diviner? Good to have you here, man. Diviner, everyone, also has a YouTube channel covering Elliott Waves and some other stuff as well, other tools that he uses. You can find him online. I think it's Divine Trading, if I'm not mistaken. On my chart, by the way, we have not yet touched the 886, just to make you aware. Where is it? So here we go. So we actually, oops. We just missed out on touching it. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's close, but I believe on Binance, maybe on some other charts, it is touched. On my chart, it isn't yet. But I mean, yeah, we got so close to touching the 886, it's almost, you can almost act like it is touched. And for the ones that don't know, if you do touch the 886, preferably then on my chart, right, which it didn't, but if you touch the 886, the probabilities are very, very low. This is a motive wave structure, wave 1, right? And this move up would be a wave 2 for then a big wave 3 down. Right? In other words, probabilities are a lot higher. This is corrective, and you look for price to take out the high unrelated to the local price action further in the range. That's going to be your directional bias, right? So the 886 at 110.674, I mean, literally just missed out by a few dollars on my chart, but it's not it. It's not it. Also, what is relatively common is that if you do move towards the 886 or touch the 886, right, I mean, we got so close, it almost looks like it touched on my chart. But if you touch the 886, it is very common for price to have a retracement. Arguably, we can say that this move down here is after like 886 touch. What's the, how far are we away? The high was made at 651 and 674 is the 886. But it is common to move towards touch the 886 and then get a retracement to the downside. The golden pocket tends to be an interesting area, which is at 108, 107, 108. So see if it can get there. Yes or no? Oops, there we go. But yeah, at least it didn't touch. So I explained the PVP one. Legendario, welcome. Can't be a diagonal. The middle should be the longest. Can only be the, yeah. I mean, I agree with at least WXY, WXYZ. Yeah, with the modern rules, your 3 can be longer than your 1, as long as your 5 is shorter than your 3. That's the main rule in the diagonal. Contracting diagonal is 5 relates to 3. There's actually no rule that talks about 3 compared to 1. which is interesting. So before I go to bed tonight, hopefully your day just started. Cheers, Sinodona. What's up, David, man? How you doing? I love your video in the group in general, man. Man, the sound of the Lambo. Jeez, dude, you did a good job there. 886 pull from all time to low, 100 missed out by... Yes. Would such a pull still work? Yeah, it works exactly the same. Works. I mean, look, this is like, or arguably this is like a 4-hour time frame, right? Now, let me show you this here. So these are a couple of 886s in the uptrend and the one at the low. And I only include this because it shows, right? It's not a 100% thing. But if you are in a downtrend, right, and there's many that I can pull in a downtrend that then play out. But here, eventually it got touched and we changed the trend. So, it also has, of course, moments where it doesn't play out. And the probabilities changed here. That is where the probabilities changed upwards. Not Elliott Wave related, but that's where the 886 become irrelevant. Right, you can have an ABC, but then you want the price to continue down after, right, or be corrective. But the moment here we turn around, that's 886 irrelevant. But after that, the trend is changing, and then you take the 886s from the highs to the lows whenever the ranges are forming. And every 886 you see here on my chart played out in the direction of the trend. Right, and you take it from the start of the correction to then the low. Okay, so you don't pull them all the way in the middle or from lows to highs and stuff. You only pull it from low to the high if the trend is changing. So if price here moves down, 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 right, you can do it locally, no problem, right? And then you can down, 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 and then eventually you get another bounce, And the moment here you touch the 886, yeah, might be looking for price to take the low. So, yeah, I guess even here we can find, is this one here? So locally, price moves up, right? Take it here. Did we take the high? No, so arguably this one here was an 886, moved to the golden pocket and then moved back up. I don't really, this is 1 hour time frame, can't really find another one, but do you think low probability for the bull one? Yeah, so I personally favor the flat, which is this. But that means that price locally needs to move down at least. As a minimum, touch the 618 at 107.4 just to invalidate a potential wave 4 locally for the 4-5s. However, a multi-1-2 is not yet out of the question, right? 1-2, 1-2, and then a 3. So if you touch the 618, your bullish scenario is going to change to 1-2, 1-2. But this is arguably the one that I like the most, with then the impulse, of course, one that I keep an eye on. In both cases, and this is the thing, in both cases, your directional bias is going to be take out the all-time high at a later stage. So, that is, in the end, the directional bias on a higher time frame, and I do like to trade in that direction. So that's why I'm mainly interested in looking for longs compared to looking for shorts. So I answered Rodney here. I'll make sure to check it. I got the tab open in another window, so I'll get you sorted. There is this other guy who is an ABC. Wait, the 1-2, 1-2 is an ABC. Around the corn, which multi 1-2 would you talk about? It's a bit difficult to think or to know where where you're counting the multi 1-2. This by itself can of course be an ABC, right? If that's, but I'm not sure which 1-2, 1-2 you mean. So I gotta check that one out. Let me just go through it quick. Projection for the end of the bull market between March, October. We're currently in June, so that's time. With regards to price, I believe in my high time frame video wait, where's my YouTube channel? Oh well, let me just go here. Never mind. So I have a playlist on my YouTube channel, right, which is high time frame, and I believe the target I had there was max 170 something, but that's been months ago now. And I am very interested in counting the high time frame again. So what I have done before I left the house is I actually counted the whole bull market, right, from the low here in 2018 to the previous all-time high at 69K. And I counted it in detail. I left out the corrective structures because it's just corrective structure. It doesn't really matter. I was mainly interested in the amount of 1-2s, the extensions in the 5, the 3s. How do the 1-2s overlap or do they not overlap? Volume increasing, decrease. So I was mainly focused on the impulsive structures. And I will do this, what you see here, for what we see here as well. I think I kind of had a bit of a start, but I just need to get into it, put some time in counting the bull market, because I don't really enjoy being too bullish or too bearish. I'm very neutral because, it's probably because I don't really care where price is. I just trade the movement of price, but I don't care about price. So I don't care if it goes 200K or 10K, but I just trade the highest probability scenarios. Right? That's what I trade. And if it goes up, it goes up, right? And then I trade up because highest probability is up. But I don't really trade such high time frames. So it's generally not too interesting, but I can imagine for the hodlers, of course, it's interesting to know. So I will definitely count it. And some things I'm considering is, instead of counting 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, I don't know how people keep counting 1, 2s, or you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then extended 5, 1, 2, and then look for 3, 4, 5 to higher prices, right? You have the extended wave 5 scenario. I do know the scenarios as I just had a look at it, right? So you have bearish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, look for a flat W, get another correction, and then maybe a zigzag in a Y or something, right? Or a more sideways W, X, Y. Like, those are bearish scenarios. Bullish scenario, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So then you have an extended fifth wave to the upside. And one that I personally initially like to probably keep an eye on is this, where instead of thinking about those super high targets, and if they come, they come, and I will happily show you how I trade on such high time frames, and how I approach my trading if I do move into daily or weekly on Bitcoin. But the one that I keep an eye on at the moment is counting a multi 1-2 here and looking at a multi 4-5 to end, right? So it basically slows down. And yeah, I've seen the photos where people overlap previous markets with this one, and they basically do this to like 2 million and stuff. But I don't know. I also noticed that people that are extremely bullish, of course, tend to grab a lot of attention because people love price going up, because they want to buy, they want to see price go higher, and everyone is in profit, everyone happy. But at the same time, in my opinion, I'm very realistic, and I take it step by step. And that for me is the best approach, and probably for most it would be a better approach, because I remember here, and the OGs will know, right? And it happens every time, right? It happens every time, where price moves up, okay, and we have this over here, we come down, and boom, we continue again, and come down and up, and people start talking about 200, and this is of course a few years ago, right? But at this time, people were talking about 400K Bitcoin, 200K, like 500K Bitcoin, and all that stuff, right? Now, maybe, maybe one day we'll touch it and people be like, oh, look, but I think it's a very bad way of approaching the market, because it's going to die out, right? Like, from an Elliott Wave point of view, it just makes sense. And eventually you find yourself at the 30s. So, if you buy here, that sucks. Right? If you buy here, that sucks. So I don't really like to talk about those extreme targets. If price goes there, we will know. We will know. Why? Because we follow the chart. What's in front of us is what we use. We don't fantasize, right? The moon boys here, that's fantasizing. The people that, of course, love following those guys, they love it because price always goes up, right? It always goes higher, and happiness and all that stuff. But if you are not one of the people that also takes care of their position, take some profit, expect to move to the downside, have a stop loss, or maybe a mental place where, okay, this is where I get out, etc., then at least you survive these moves towards the downside, because they can be ruthless, no? Yeah, I'm not really looking at targets that go to many hundreds of Ks. If we get there, that's fine, and I'll be part of the move because I trade Elliott Waves, and I'm just part of the move anyway. But then the chart speaks to me. It's not me hoping. There's so much hopium in the market when price goes up. It's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, be realistic. Keep your feet on the ground. Don't think that price always goes up, etc. Right? Because that bear market will come. And hopefully if it comes, you're not on the wrong side, right? And hopefully you took some profits when price moved to the upside. And you don't need to sell at the peak, nor do you need to buy at the low in order to trade and make profit, right? Or invest and make profit. It's about having a plan, executing the plan wherever price is. No? So yeah, just take care. I think it's very sad as well. It's a very sad way of analyzing. Do you share your object tree? No, I mean, I share my link, which is in the description at LINKTREE, but you can't see my object tree. Yeah, that's the other side. Whenever price moves up, people always hope it goes back down. I mean, yeah, it's opposite poles, right? Like we had this move down, and I remember I had a comment on YouTube as price was moving down here that said, "Are we going to 74K?" And no, yeah, like it's, I mean, yeah. And then I made this. You can read it while I answer some questions. Lex, it depends on where my confluences are. So I mainly use point of controls and high time frame, like horizontal levels, so the daily, the weekly, the monthly. And especially when volume levels are close to one another, or there's some daily, weekly stuff going on, that's where I like to create a box. Or with the volume profile, if there's a point of control or value area high in confluence with some other levels, that's why I make a box. I'm actually not in the US. I am currently in South Africa. I'm in the south. Go down. How does your highest degree count account for the decreasing volume since the 15K bottom? Yeah. I mentioned just now that I need to count it. And, I enjoy counting it. I do have the counts as just mentioned. Volume moving down it's generally like 5-ish. Now, if you get into a high time frame wave 3, you would also like the volume to go up, especially on a weekly, monthly time frame when the market participation should be higher. You would hope volume goes up. However, I believe Time Traveler, I'm not sure if you're here, mate, or people in the Bitcoin TA group were talking about the volume versus price of the asset. So back in the day, when Bitcoin was a lot cheaper, I think the volume, I don't know, I would need to check Bitstamp, but I think volume was actually very high. And then as price moved up and up and up with every cycle, volume slowly went down. But I think there's more at play than just the volume on these high time frames. But yeah, volume goes down. I just look at the individual impulse. Right? So I just prefer to I separate this move up, right, from the whole move since the beginning, basically. And volume moving down, yeah, I mean, generally it's you're looking at a wave force 5s, you're looking at maybe a multi 1-2, and you still get the highest volume move. I don't really have an opinion. I focus on the local price action. As long as the moves down are corrective, you're looking for price to move up. The FIB templates, no. You can my chart, but not the object tree. But you can get into gold, and then I share all of my templates in gold. Not, I can't share them, but like I go through them one by one so that people can copy them basically. But you got to put in some work, of course. Can it not front run? Price can always front run, of course. Yeah. Like support or resistance levels at least. What will wait? The 886 will be in the compendium if that's a question. Yo, Sam, enjoy the night, man. Enjoy the night. Common target for X in a double zigzag, the 382 to the 0.5 Fibonacci. Before the last pump. Nope. Oh, here? Yeah. No, I'm not counting ABCs here. Like I just count multi 1-2 initially. Possibly there's some sort of a diagonal. Diagonals in theory can be ABCs, but if this is wave A, B, and this is your C is very long compared to your A, so the ratio would be off. I would prefer then counting it different. I mean, I would even then consider preferably W, X, and a Y or something. But no, I start with the multi 1-2s. I don't like to count this as ABC-ish stuff here, or ABC, WABC. I prefer to keep it simple initially, right? And that would be just a single 535 ABC. Sure, maybe you get a WXY here, but it doesn't matter really, because you're still looking for price to then turn around. The only reason a WXY would matter is because it doesn't work in the flat. But I don't really count a WXY here, because if this is a WXY or a WXY XZ to the downside, right, here, highest probability, a WXY cannot follow if Y is not at least reaching flat targets. You need, after a WXY, you need to at least go to the 0.9 Fibonacci, which we haven't. So unless you get a motive wave structure down, followed by WXY, you expect another motive wave structure. The problem is that a diagonal is expanding here. By diagonals, not by structure, because 5 is too short compared to 3. It can't be an expanding. But a contracting diagonal would be expanding by the trend lines, which doesn't make sense. So, yeah. Oh, wait. Look, yeah, man, I'm so confused with the Davids. Yeah, sorry, David. David and David, you know, many Davids. Okay, at least I know now. Yeah. Oh, well, at least you heard my comment. I love seeing the video. It's great content, man. I keep counting the 1-2s because the structure of the 2s have been in nesting 2s. Especially if the first wave 2 is a WXY, expect the second one to be as well. Right? What did I miss? What's up, Mugandusi? Okay, here we are. Yeah, the crazy price. Wait, couldn't calm down. I just hope that people do not get wrecked by thinking about ridiculous high prices before you even have the proof that it gets there, right? Look, I don't mind Bitcoin to 300K or 200K and that sort of stuff, right? I'd love Bitcoin to go there. But at the moment, there is no sign on the chart it gets there. There's no reason to think while we are at 100K, oh, we're going to be at 200K by October. Where do you get that info from, right? Like, what the fuck? There is no indication. And I do realize people love counting the 1-2s, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and maybe it gets there, right? Maybe it gets there. But we will know, because we will analyze it range by range, by range, by range. And by analyzing the ranges, we know probabilities are higher to move up and up and up and up and up. And then eventually we're at 200K, and then ta-da, we're at 200K. But at this moment in time here, I'm not really talking about those high targets. I just hope that people don't get to the same issues as at the 65k top and the 69k top, after which 65 to 30 to 69 to 15. You know, just you don't want to be on the wrong side. That's I just hope people don't yeah, you know, don't just keep buying because other people think it goes that high, because no one has a clue, right? No one knows. In my opinion, the best approach, and this is personal, but I always say this in my streams and content as well, always wait for the next range to form. The ranges will give you all the information that you need. Right? This retracement, right, eventually creates a range, but the retracement slash a range as price moves up, that's the info. Because now you can analyze, is it corrective, impulsive? Is it impulsive? Well, we look for another leg down. Is it corrective? Probability is higher to take the high. And then you take it step by step. Okay, if we take the high, we'll see what comes next, right? What's the volume doing? What's the extension doing? And we wait for a new range, right? So price maybe goes up, and who knows, maybe you get an X and a Y. But the moment you move up, you just wait for the next range to form. And only then it becomes interesting to look at the chart. If price is in all-time high mode, just wait for a new range. And then as the range forms, we can analyze the range, get to the probabilities, and know how to approach it from a trading point of view. And maybe range by range, we get to 200K. Maybe range by range, we get to 120, end of the bull market, and down we go. Right? So, yeah. You got to be very, very careful. Online, a lot of people shouting bullish stuff, which I know people love because it gets the followers. And no one likes someone that is neutral or approach it price by price. I say no one, but of course many people are here. But people that are most bullish and shout the most bullish targets, that's what gets the people. Be careful. That's all I can say. Whenever in doubt, go to a Koen's live stream. I'm happy to hear that, Dogan. Be patient, have a plan, trade a plan. Price is always there. I tend to say as well, my trading window does not have price. You can turn price off by going to your settings, right? Go to Canvas, yes, and then scales, and then you just drag this one down, and then ta-da, beautiful. So in my trading window, my Tradingview template, which is not this one, I have this turned off. I don't have price, I only have a time. So I don't actually know where I did that. I did it a while ago already, but I turned the price off here as well. So I only see time. And it's, you know, in most of the cases, you do not need to know the price for your trading plan. Price just has an impact on your psychology. It creates the FOMO, right? It creates the greediness. Oh, we're at 100K. Well, who cares? We're at 100K. Who cares? We're at 200. Who cares? We're at 10. If you are a trader, you go in and out of the market unrelated to the price, right? Because most of the plans do not include price of the asset. Maybe yours does, right? But most of the plans do not. Elliott Waves does not. Elliott Waves is price action. Right? It's the candles. It's not the price itself. And it really helps with stabilizing some emotion as well in trading. If you are highly emotional, I can really recommend turning price off and just removing it, and then have an empty trade window. Just focus on your plan and the execution. Why no scenario to 96, 97K? That could be the flat. Oh, I just removed it. But then I would expect all-time high to be taken first. And the reason why is for price to move down here without at least touching the 0.9 at 110 means this has to be a motive wave, right? It has to be a wave A. Probabilities are very low. This is a motive wave. It can't be an impulse in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because there's overlap. And a contracting diagonal, for me, it just doesn't work because the trend lines are expanding trend lines for a contracting diagonal. So therefore, probabilities are high you're first moving up before you would maybe later take the low, but at least 0.9 at 110.8. Could the move down on the 15 be finished? I mean, there's all, yeah, tricky questions, of course. There's always the could, but I would like to be a bit more patient. So yeah, sure, 1, 2, or sorry, ABC, right? An ABC can be done. But in order to get more confidence in a move down being done, I would like price to touch the 886 at 109.8, right? And then the probabilities are higher. This is a 3-wave. Now, mind you that a 3-wave can lead to a bigger corrective structure, right? This can still be W, X, and you get a wave Y, and then you move up, right? An ABC to the downside can be part of a bigger triangle, A, B, C, D, E, right? So more sideways price action. Oops, right? A zigzag here can be part of a sideways W, X, Y. Can be part of a flat A, B, C. Right? At least you take the high then. But by all means, the moment you move up and take the 886, take the high, probabilities are higher to take the high, unrelated to the exact corrective structure. Kun crash. Webcam is still on. Just checking. Just checking. In Santorini, Greece. Enjoy Greece, man. My brother has been there twice, and he loves it. He loves it. I won't get. I know what environment looks like. I'm just saying the data says 1, 2, look every step of the way. I understand. For validation, okay, 170 by July. That's a big step. A step of 70K in 1 month. Never say never. Price can move incredibly quick. Right? It can move very quick, especially like the percentages, of course, become higher. 1% now, right, on this chart is like 1K. So, yeah. But, yeah, I'm not really talking about the high, the very high, nor the very low targets. I like to approach it range by range. And I think that's probably what people know me for best, is very neutral, very psychological stable. Not shouting, not ridiculously high targets and low. It's just we take it range by range, play the probabilities, trade the probabilities, and make money. If you had entered near the bottom, I mean, all the way down here, would you have? No, I would have taken the same profit, because my plan was the same. So to the people interested, of course. So the 0.618 that I had on my chart here, that was my entry. Because from an Elliott Wave point of view, probabilities are very, very low that this is a 4. So probabilities were much higher. This is a 3, right? So I was looking for price to move up, and my exit was the box, was in the box. So I'm out of the long. So I'm not involved with the market. I'm looking for a new opportunity, and that was my plan. And I had a TP set in the order book. So and it was touched. So money was made while I was doing some other stuff, which is always nice. In your trading side, do you always consider Elliott waves? Yes, yes, Amir. But in theory, the diamond ones you don't need to. But because I know Elliott waves so well, I of course use it because it's such a strong tool. But in theory, the other two, you do not need to know any Elliott wave. Right? You can go to any chart and implement it. Right, as long as you got the tool. Can the protests in LA use it? I don't know, Josfat, because I'm a pure technical trader, not a fundamental one. So wars, protests, pandemics and all of those things, I do not consider in my counting. I only look at the chart, and the chart speaks for itself, basically. Generally, news follows the waves. So yeah, not really involved. So at the moment, even with the protests going on there, sure, we have the flat scenario here, right, where you would get an X, but probabilities are higher to sooner or later take out the all-time high at the moment. Low probability, this is motive. It's all probabilities, right? We can never say never, but that being an impulse is invalidated and a diagonal has expanding trend lines. So yeah. This new language of 1-2s. Simfiwe, Raymond. I'll just call you Raymond. You're talking about probably Elliott Waves, the new language of 1-2s. Yeah, welcome to the depths of Elliott Waves here on the channel. By the way, I recommend if you are new, click on the link in the description on the Linktree. You'll get to this window. Scroll down, and if you are interested in all of Elliott Waves is not my strategy, right? It's from Mr. Elliott himself, Nelson, which is already almost a century ago. He was alive and found this, but you can learn it, right? So where is it? Elliott Wave website here at the bottom, which I really recommend. It's a great website. Let me click on it. Let me go to the website. And if it wants to load, so while it's loading, right? I also have the playlist on YouTube, which is the educational playlist on my YouTube channel. Continue to destination, please. So this is the website. It's not my website, but it's a great website. So you can read more about it here, right? Very useful. And then this is my educational playlist where I cover every scenario, every structure. Including 2 other videos here at the top and the bottom. I really recommend watching this one as well as a way to start. Yeah, wow, this playlist had 55k views so far. Thanks for the support, guys. That's incredible. Yep. So yeah, and I think Elliott Waves can give you it gives you a way to read the market. So it's like reading a book, right? You open a book, and instead of having the letters randomly positioned and you have no clue what's going on, it makes sense and you can read it, right? There's actual words and you can read the market, and that's what Elliott Waves gives you. It gives you an opportunity to read the market, right? Where are we? What are we looking for? So it gives you a directional bias. Is something corrective, impulsive? Are we, if you get an impulse down, oh cool, we're still looking for some 4s and 5s, right? You're looking for price to slow down, for some grinding price action, volume moving down. It just gives you a great way to read the market and then find setups in the directional bias that Elliott Waves gives you. So, yeah. I have a video on the multi-1 too, yeah. In case that was the question, actually. So it's here, the multi-1-2 pattern. Yep. 4.6k people saw that one. Got him. Been busy building a car app. Yo, very nice. Congrats. Hopefully when it's live, many people make use of it. I wonder what car app you're making. Is it to repair the car? Is it more like a Google Maps type of program? I'm wondering. What's up, Ganam? Of course, here, building the car app. How do you limit TP? Because I still have my boxes solid fab. So I of course, I have my, wait, let me, one second. Let me just show you my trading window here. Okay, 1 second here, right? So let me do quickly this here. Look, I know it's a very boring window in a way. Okay, there we go. So this is my trading window, right? Over here. So as you can see, everything is gray, right? I don't need the colors of the candles for Elliott Waves. I don't have price. I don't have the dates at the bottom. I just have time. When I move my cursor, I will see price because I don't know, I didn't find a way to turn it off. If I could, I would. But yeah, I still have this. And when I'm in a position, I still have my target boxes, right? So I will have my boxes positioned, okay? And I just copy, you can copy your boxes from the one window. So I can copy all of these boxes here. I copy the folder, Control C, go to my other window, just remove this one. Oops. Control V, target boxes, and there you go. All on the chart. So I do my analysis on the other chart because that's the YouTube chart here, right? But then I tend to, when I make target boxes, I tend to copy them to my trading window over here. And then I enter my stuff, and I know where to limit TP because I have my boxes, and those are always going to be my areas of interest. So yeah, that is my trading window, and as you can see, it's very boring, right? So it's not much going on. So oh, hi everyone. Hi 184. Good to have you guys here. Let's see, can we do an Elliott Wave count on our viewership? So, oh, I actually forgot my Elliott Wave analysis was analysis at like what, 10 minutes or something. Wow, that's a late message. I am already chatting in Q&A for a long time. Elliott Wave Theory gives you higher probabilities. Yes, it adds to your directional bias, which you can use. If your directional bias is taking out the high or the low or moving up or down, you can trade according to that direction, which really helps. Is it possible to turn off time the same way on the chart like you did? Well, not. I don't think I can turn off the time on the right side. I'm actually not sure. You can turn off the bottom axis here, the horizontal axis, but I'm actually not sure about the time. Yeah, you might wanna check the settings. I like the time because it helps me to know on what time frame I am as well. But yeah. I think that's a wave. I think that's a wave we just finished. I guess a wave, not necessarily wave A. Wave A has to be a 5-waver, right? So I would preferably see one more high in that case, at least. So far, it's very 3-wavy. No? Wave 1 and 4 didn't touch. They did, if you count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a wave 5. So it depends on the impulse you're talking about, I suppose. Once the 886 is reached, how do you determine whether the move that follows is an impulsive wave or a WXY correction? Once the 86 is reached, how do you determine whether the move that follows, are you looking for, Mike, the move down? So the 886 gets touched and then price moves down, impulsive or corrective? Or you mean as we move up? Right, you get the retracement and then continue. Higher probabilities, impulse or correction? Let me know. Is there a good GPT service that waves market than others that I can? Ooh, I don't know. I know that ChatGPT does tend to make mistakes still with Elliott waves. Some of the rules or guidelines or some of the facts are not always on point. And of course, there's a lot that comes with it, including the volume, all the fibs and stuff. It does a pretty good job, but it's just, it doesn't, a human analyzes the AI at the moment. But you can definitely use it to talk with, and maybe you copy an analysis from your chart, you put it in ChatGPT and you ask like, hey, what do you think? Is this correct? Is it invalid or not? And you'll probably get some relatively good answers, but don't always trust it 100%, right? Still make sure to do your own checks as well. Pleasure, Chantal, Hesham. Cheers. Appreciate the message, guys. Kaveen. Bitcoin is going... no, what? Woo? Abhishek, hello there. What is the probability of the ongoing wave being wave B? And then we begin wave C to the downside. Low probabilities, because in this case, you would look at this to be wave A. This would be your B. And you're looking for C down. Right? And there's two reasons why probabilities are low. First of all, probabilities are low. This is a motive wave. A 5-wave impulse is invalid because of the overlap here between 1 and 4, not allowed. Second, for a diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the trend lines, if you would pull them here, are expanding, not contracting, which of course doesn't make sense for a contracting diagonal. And it can't be an expanding diagonal because 5 is too short compared to 3. So therefore, probabilities are higher. This is corrective. Second, if this would be a wave B here, preferably wave B takes a little bit longer, right? Because so far, price has not reached the 0.382 fib time taken from the start to the end of the move down. Now, Bs can be very short, right? Time is not a confirmation invalidation. It's something that helps in analyzing the chart. Sometimes Bs are short, or 2s are short, or Ys or Cs. But commonly you end up after the 382. How much impact does CVD take? And currently there's bullish and would that stop you from taking a trade? Yeah, CVD plays a role in my trading. I don't always need CVD to enter. If, for example, here with the 618, I entered due to the 618. Yeah, we also had bullish CVD as price was moving up. So it can be like an additional confluence. If there are strong bearish CVDs, especially like with this high. So for example, I had no interest in longing here, also due to the bearish CVDs. Bearish CVDs with these high here, this high, I wasn't particularly interested in longing here, also due to the CVD. So it plays a role. I keep an eye on it, and it's something I take with me in my analysis. And sometimes I have an Elliott Wave plan, but I would then also like to see some CVD in that direction, right? To give me more confidence in the plan, basically. So another thing, like for example, if a range is a higher probability corrective, right? For example here, and one is looking for longs, cool, we got to move up, right? I like to have areas of support, of course, right? And if the range continues, because the probabilities are higher to sooner or later take out the high, I'm interested in looking for long opportunities. And if we then move to maybe like a nice area of support, right? I might wait for price to touch it. And if there's some bullish CVDs, it's even more interesting. And if price bounces and bullish CVDs build as market structure moves up, you know, it's interesting. So I do use it, yeah, of course. Of course, yeah, of course they're classified. I was just wondering in what industry you're in, but no worries, man. Of course. Keep it for yourself, and when the product is live, maybe we can make use of it and pay for your app or whatever. Yeah. Your audience, yeah, thank you, Ganam. Yeah, it's great to see we're growing. I don't really look at the numbers of the channel often. I think we're at 18.3, close to 18.4K. Generally, I focus more on just delivering, not really on the subs. But yeah, it's great to see we are getting closer to the 20K, which is a big next step for the channel. So it's quite insane to think that we are approaching such numbers in a bit over 2 years now. It feels, I'm very grateful to everyone watching and subscribing and enjoying the analysis, because look, like I said it in a recent video, but I could also sit on the beach and do nothing. But I love Elliott Waves, I use it, and I hope I can inspire people to use it and to teach some more about Elliott Waves during streams with my playlist on YouTube, etc., and show the efficiency of Elliott Waves and show how to use it and what it can do. And hopefully it inspires people to get better in Elliott Waves, use it in their trading, and become profitable, right? Become successful in their approach using Elliott Waves as a great tool. So I hope it inspires some people, yeah. And yeah, we're almost at 20K, which of course is insane. Yo, cheers, Josvat. And also, welcome to the channel. First time I see you commenting here. Amir, can you please explain what are the boxes that you put? Oh, those are support and resistance areas. If you would watch this video, educational, so you go to my playlists on YouTube, click on the educational or things you should know about as a trader playlist, and then go down to the, which video? Oh, here, the easiest way to trade, target boxes. Probably have to change the title. But here I explain step by step how to put target boxes on your chart and how I get them. It's all in that video. I can link it to you. Wait, where is it? I will just link it. Share. Put it in. There you go. Up. Do you recommend trading only swing Bitcoin for a beginner? Probably yes, because the chart moves slowly on higher time frames. So you have a lot more Wait, am I still connected or not here? Is the stream still live? Yeah. Am I still live? Looks like it. Okay. So yeah, I definitely recommend it because the chart moves slower and you have more time to react when things happen. But in general, when you are just a beginner, I recommend to put your money on the side, trade with low budgets, watch this video, this one. And after you watch this one, watch this one. Because what you need to do in the beginning is make a plan. That's most important. So don't get emotional by people shouting crazy targets. Don't get the FOMO if price moves up, price moves down. Because if you are a trader, it doesn't matter where price is. What your job is as a trader is to get in and out of the market, taking bits of money out, right, and be profitable. That's your job. It doesn't matter where price is, right? Your job is earn money by participating in high probability setups and then exit them once your TP is touched. And you need a plan for this. So it doesn't matter where price is. If you're afraid of FOMO, just DCA into an asset and don't care about the money. Just DCA a bit and who knows, right? But as a trader, you can better be very, very patient, use a low amount of money or maybe not even something. Build experience with the software Tradingview, right? Build a plan and then start executing. And in this video, I explain when you start executing, etc. We're also building a software now, Jeroen and I'm not sure if Jeroen is here, I don't think so, but yo, Douwe, by the way, yo, mate, good to see you here. We're building a software that will help people to develop their trading plan. It's called Hexaplan because it's 6 steps, Hexaplan. And we're working on it, and Jeroen is doing a great job with the tag, and I have the vision, and like we can the audience and share it with all of you. So it's something that's coming. It's currently in the soft launch phase where people test it. Thanks everyone for if you're here and you're testing. We really appreciate your feedback to solve some of the bugs and the this and the that, right? So it's a great help. Yeah, we're working on that stuff, but create a plan. So yeah, probably high time frame first because the chart moves slower and it gives you more time to react. I am not in the US, I'm in South Africa at the moment. My analysis on ETH, that's the same still. Was it this one? No, wait. Altcoin. This one here. So nothing has changed since I made this ETH video. So I'm still looking for this one. It's crazy to think, by the way, that an altcoin video from an analysis point of view, so purely technical analysis, right, like an update video, an altcoin video is the best performing video ever on my channel. While I do Bitcoin most of the time, it's an altcoin that is the number one. There are other videos that have more views, but those are evergreen, like the CVD video or the Elliott Wave guide playlist, like the educational playlist has many videos that are higher. But from an analysis update point of view, shit, man, like this ICP just went. I did not expect it at all. I didn't think ICP had a big. I just saw it. I was going through my altcoin list here and I was like just clicking up to down, like, and I was like, okay, which one looks pretty good and has a bit of a good RR and has a lot of potential from an analysis point of view? And I was like, oh, this one looks good, let me make a video. Whoa, 7.5K viewers. Do you know how many people that is in a room? I always think like, yo, if there's, imagine me speaking in front of 7.5K people in a room. That's a big audience. The relationship to the time frame, I like to trade a 1 hour. Generally, it's 4 hour, 1 hour, 50 minutes. Those are the 3 I am active. 1 hour is generally my favorite. And that's on Bitcoin. Altcoins would be weekly or daily. But on Bitcoin, it's 50 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hour. And yeah. What time frame do you usually trade? The 1 hour. Yeah, the 1 hour is my favorite. Do you recommend trading only? Oh yeah, so I answered this one. Oh, interesting. There's someone else in the Discord group who also made a ChatGPT for his own strategy. Yeah, it's cool. What does nest mean in Elliott Wave analysis? There is nothing. There's no terminology in Elliott Waves, which is so it means nothing actually. There's no nest shortcut or terminology in Elliott Waves. So if you saw it somewhere, then it's not Elliott Wave analysis, or it's someone that added its own sauce on top of Elliott Waves. I really like your comment. Cheers, no choke. I appreciate that, man. I love to hear it. Education is a big part of why I launched the channel, why I do what I do, and it's great to see that, man. Thanks, no joke. Where are you from, actually? You asked me where I'm at. Where are you at? You and your team deserve the love you're getting, man. You just cheers, Gunham. It's a very active community, and yeah, Odin, maybe a Band-Aid, Mark, Adam, Jeroen. You know, like it's awesome to see them helping in Discord and seeing the community and all of the channels sharing their analysis, chatting, sharing memes. It's a very happy place. I love being part of the community myself. So it's thanks to you, because in the end I don't control I control the community, but in the end it's the people that make it. I'm not people. I'm just one guy, and you know, it's the community that makes the community. So it's a great bunch of people in there. Is it better? If price is hovering below or just above a box, leave it on the chart. But another thing, it might be that if your boxes don't really work, consider changing your tools, or look for more confluences in that particular area, right? In order to, so the boxes are just a summary of areas of interest, right? So you have your horizontal levels, right? And you can put a box around an area where you have confluence with fibs, horizontal levels, or whatever. And it just cleans up the chart. So I don't like to have like all of these levels on my chart. It feels incredibly messy to me, and I like a very clean environment. So what I do is I'll be like, okay, we have some confluence here. Let me just pull a box, right? And then I write in the box and I say, okay, we got a daily naked point of control here, and we have another POC. And then I just clean up the chart, boom, new box. And then I know what's in the box. I know the confluences, but I don't want to have them on the chart because it just, I don't know, it looks messy. So yeah, if the boxes don't really do something, and you need either more confluences, use different tools. You know, you got to find a different way. For starters, what time frame do you recommend? The 4-hour time frame, because you still get some good detail, and it's still fast enough for you to keep analyzing on a daily basis, or 2-day basis, but it's slow enough for you to react when things generally happen. Usport is one of the OGs on YouTube. I remember the time when Koens only had a few messages in chat and was at 400 subs. I know. Usport was one of the first subs, man. The good old days. Yeah, it's crazy to think we came this far at almost 20K now. I know. I mean, few messages in chat, and I was doing live streams. They're still 1 hour or more, talking a lot about the chart and just talking to myself. But now here we are. I can barely keep up. Thanks you, Sportman, for being here for so long, for all the support since the beginning. But there's like, there's many OGs still watching the channel, still here. I also have a list of the first 100 Discord community members, people that joined Discord. I still have the document in my folders with the first 100 people, which also in Discord have the 100 role, by the way. So in Discord, there's also a channel here, the 100, and some people have the 100 role, and that's only for the first 100 people in Discord. So I only read about psychology. That's a good place to start. So if you enjoy Elliott Waves, you can definitely start. Honestly, I pretty much started with Elliott Waves. Like I started in December, January 2021, January 2021 mostly. And then I got in touch with Elliott Waves in February, and that's when it started for me. But besides studying Elliott Waves, I also studied other stuff. Patterns, VWAP, candlesticks, EMAs, MAs, which are the moving averages, Fibonacci, etc. Right? So, and channeling. And so while studying Elliott Waves, I was studying a whole bunch of stuff. Just general experience, getting to know the platform, getting to know the tools, some of the indicators, read stuff, find online sources to get some information. I had a notebook and a pen and I wrote everything down, watched videos online, and that's where it starts. So number one step in the 6-step video that I recommend, which is this one here, is getting to know some of the tools, build experience in the market. And then step 2 is find your favorite tools, and then you start to build some statistics. You don't need to build data on Elliott Waves. It's like a proven method. But if you use a combination of like a VWAP with a golden pocket and maybe an EMA, you want to build some data yourself because you're going to personalize your strategy. Right? Also, keep going with the psychology. It's very good to do that. Read the book, The Mental Game of Trading from Jared Tendler. That's an amazing book, to be honest. What's your preferred wave count for the Bitcoin structure? Oops. So we were looking, if you check the previous video, we were looking for price to move up. I really enjoy the look of a flat, right? But then we would need a bit more downside. I am definitely not interested in shorts, right? For wave X to get higher probabilities, you first want the 618 here to be touched at 107.4K. Because your alternative, of course, or your other scenario is just you continue in either looking for a couple of 4-5s and then get the retracement, or 1 2 1 2 3, where this becomes a diagonal, and then you start your 3, which means the moment you move up, you want volume to significantly increase as price then moves towards the upside. Right? So those are the two I watch. In both cases, all-time high is expected, which is the directional bias overall. To go home and not come back out to play. Yeah, Ethereum is doing well. It had a good move towards the upside. I also got to go, by the way, soon. I think the people here are waiting for me to finish before they start with food. But no, I mean, dinner has been amazing. I mean, we had the WXY on the chart very, very early on, the corrective structure. So basically WXY, right, a sideways combo. And you can, where was it? This one? No, this one. So here was my previous Ethereum video a few months ago, why Ethereum may be bottoming, right? And then my two main areas of interest was either this box that is white or the one down below in blue. Well, the first one held and up we went. So yeah, very neat. And then I think more recently, in the recent update, this one here, a few weeks ago, I counted the move to the upside here. And did we take the high now? Yeah, we did. So yeah, it would be nice to reach 3K at least, touch the weekly naked point of control. You do scalping, intraday, or swing? I'm probably more of a swing trader. But like, I don't know, I'm like in between day and swing. But generally when I enter a position, it takes more than 1 day to reach a TP or stop loss. So I'm not like a full day trader going in and out during the day, but I'm also not always a swing trader that's in position for many weeks or months. So it's like a little bit in between, I suppose. With alts, I'm definitely more of a swing trader or more spot, but with Bitcoin, I suppose like day swing. Yeah. Yeah. It also depends on the time frame I analyze. So yeah. No, Kurt, I wouldn't. I actually answered this question earlier. You may have missed it, no problem. But I would have taken the same TP because that was my plan. My plan was to TP at my resistance box over here. and therefore I TP'd. I exited. My exit was here, my full TP. So I didn't have any other TPs than just the box. Oh, cheers, guys. Yeah. I mean, Jeroen in Discord, he's the one that does all the tech. And we're moving forward with it. So we'll keep people up to date as we go along. You in the US, not living there. No, of course, you shouldn't share where you live, mate. But the country, I mean the country. So the US, yeah. So I'm currently in Africa. Yeah. I also don't live there. No, I mean just traveling the world. I also don't live in South Africa. You know. Do you have a date for the Elliott Wave Compendium? We're aiming for the end of this month, next month. I mean, we're so close to finishing it. I just want to. I need to. The thing is, I need to wait for something from the. So the compendium is close to finish, but I need terms and conditions from the lawyer, which needs a business, and we're in the final stage of setting up the business in France. Then the terms and conditions need to be finished with the details of the business, and then I want to add another page with regards to something with Robert Prechter. So we'll have to see. But we're getting to the final stages. Yeah, Mark, absolutely. One day we'll surprise with my Vietnamese. Oh, hey, Mike, when you're here, man, come. I'm allowed to take people to the gym. So I'll take you with me to the gym, man. We can do a good gym session. Mike, if you haven't seen him, I mean, he wrote in Discord. I know, can I find the video? Oh, wait, I'm not in, I'm in streamer mode. Mike, what was your, oh, I gotta go to general. Oh, I don't know. Mike once shared videos of him working out in Discord, but it's already a while ago. But yeah, let's not. These are all the videos. Old. Oh, how many pages do we have? 79. Yeah, there's no way I will be able to find it this quick without getting the link. But he's a beast. Mike is super strong. And I am sure I can learn a thing or two, 10, 20 from Mike. But yeah, absolutely, man. I am happy to get to the gym and get a good workout in together. How do you pull range volume profiles? Yeah, I have a tutorial on it. It is in the playlist here, which is on the YouTube channel. And then it's a volume profile. So let me just share it with you. I also have to go because, you know, it's time to have dinner here. Mental game of trading, step 1. Yeah, it's super important. It's generally before you engage in trading, it's good to read the book. Cheers, Frank. Cheers, man. Thanks, Odin, Mark. I don't actually know where Daywald lives, to be honest. But it's not planned at the moment. Koens can probably bench press me. Squat, bench press. I'm 175. Yo, okay, cheers, guys. It is time for me to call it a night. So we analyzed price action pretty much at the beginning. I'll make sure to put the timestamps in so that people that watch the VOD can check it out. It's easier generally when I'm traveling for me to do live streams compared to videos because it takes less time to make. I can do my analysis during the live stream and answer questions and stuff while at it. So you can expect more live streams. I will still make content while I am traveling. And you know, might be a bit less, depends on what price does. If there's something interesting to talk about, you can expect a video to come or a live stream to come. When price is relatively silent, yeah, and the previous analysis is still very valid, you know, just wait for that. Honestly, the previous analysis, the video I made a few days ago is 100% still on. I just wanted to be live So you guys know, like just a little bit of an update with the new price action and what I'm looking at and etc. Just sharing some of my thoughts. So do you have a special tutorial on the 886? I don't actually have a specific tutorial, but it will be in the compendium, the book that we are making. So that will give you a lot of insight. Other than that, the 886 is more for directional bias than specifically trading. But yeah, ask me next time during a live stream. I'm happy to explain it a bit more. Xander, by the way, welcome to the memberships. Welcome to Gold. We will get you sorted. Make sure to fill in the form and Jeroen will get you sorted. So cool. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate you spending some time here with me tonight, or maybe it's afternoon or morning where you live. But I hope you're going to have a great remainder of your day. And I will see you again at the next live stream or, of course, the next video.